Hello, YouTube family. Auntie is here. I'm your auntie of pop culture, Patty Jackson. It is time for the weekend. This is the weekend edition, and David A. Gaines puts everything together. Like we do during the week, we give out hugs, so come on. Are you ready? Are you ready to start the weekend? Welcome to the weekend edition. It's not cute not knowing, and now you're going to know. I'm Patty Jackson. I am your auntie of pop culture. I am so excited because singer Brandy is ready to tell all. One of the premier singers of the 90s. Her new book, Phases, is coming out next year. This is a very exciting time for Brandy because she's, doing this big tour with Monica. But back in the day, Brandy was the woman from TV shows, Moesha, The Coming Out, the famous braids that we thought she would always wear. But then she was hit with a couple of scandals. Was she really married when she gave birth to her daughter? And the ex just blowing up the spot. How she deals with her brother Ray J. How was it after the car accident where someone was accidentally killed? She's experienced ups and downs, and she's moved into acting. I really love Brandy. The book is called Phases, and she is ready to talk about her life. How many of you remember BET's 106 in Park with AJ and Free? Well, now get ready for BET's 106 in Sports. Cam Newton, who was that guy about 10 years ago, the Carolina Panthers, he's going to be joining Ashley Nicole Moss for a 106 in Park conversation, all centered on sports. This is a big movie weekend. Check out this lineup. Tiana Taylor, Leonardo DiCaprio, Regina Hall. They're all joining forces for the motion picture One Battle After Another. This is what I'm hearing about the movie. It can be very, very intense, but some great performances are going to come out of this movie. Woo! Tiana, Regina Hall, Leonardo DiCaprio. One Battle After Another is in theaters this weekend. Hoda Kotb, what has life been since she's left the Today Show? Well, she's got a brand new book, A New Beginning, and Choosing Joy. And she really goes into detail why she chooses joy. Which, when you think about it, it can be a hard time. She made some difficult decisions to walk away from the Today Show to raise her two children. One of her daughters is battling diabetes. But in this book, she talks about the journey that she's on and why she chose joy. Tiffany Haddish, Master P, get ready for the motion picture Motion. Yes, they are joining forces. Everything is happening down in New Orleans. And next year, we're going to see this dynamic duo take to the big screen. And now it's time for Ask Auntie, where you get to ask me questions, not necessarily about me, but you get to ask me questions and I get to answer them. We have to have our readers. Okay. These are Zeelos. People ask me, where you get your glasses from? Zeelo. Zeellol. And only paid $20 for them. Yvette Minor, 8142. Did you ever find out what happened to Anita Baker after her last concert? That is a good question because she still ain't apologizing to those people down in Atlanta. It was a Mother's Day weekend. People are dressed. They're there. They parked. They got babysitters. They bought outfits. They're going to enjoy this concert with Anita Baker. And at the very last second, she decides there'll be no concert tonight. I'm not going on. I don't know what it is. If she's having a problem with her hip, she's not happy. It's hard to tell. She fussed out Babyface. People can't tour with her. Every time she goes on tour with somebody, she can't get along with them. But what disappointed me about Anita Baker, and I love Anita Baker, she never apologized to those people in Atlanta. Oh, I got time, money to waste? No. They don't have time for that. Anita, what are you doing? was too much. It was too much. I still think she needs to apologize, and I have no idea when she'll ever go back on a concert tour. Stephanie Jackson, 865. I know she was raunchy, but what happened to Millie Jackson? And on a cleaner note, Cheryl Lynn. Cheryl Lynn still does commercial jingles and is still making money from her songs, be it Encore or Got to Be Real or Shaking Up Tonight. Millie Jackson still does little things. She's in her 80s now, and a lot of people don't want you to see them once they get older. I think that's why Millie Jackson has kept out of the spotlight. I would just love to know what she's doing, what's on her mind, but a lot of people, once they start getting older, they just kind of retreat from public life. Millie Jackson was something else back in the day. Those album covers, and she made a name for herself with the stage plays, but she's been leading a very quiet life. Kathleen Harris, 8824. Hi, Patty. My question is, do you think Al B. Sure should self-publish his autobiography? Yes, I do, but he'll never do it. He won't. He wants the money up front. See, when you get these book deals, they pay for the money up front. You get the up front. They're going to pay for your press and travel. And publishers have turned him down. Apparently, they're questioning some things that could possibly get him in trouble. He and Diddy both had children by Kim Porter. Al B. Sure has been saying, I think she's been murdered. So it's just a lot of murkiness, but I think that he should, but he feels he would get a better push if he had a bigger company behind him. Science with Soul. I'm Patty. Every year I have my students participate in a debate, Elvis versus Michael. Who made the greatest waves in American music? Who do you think was the GOAT? And is anyone else worthy to mention at the level of these two kings? I don't like the comparison. I'm going to tell you why. Two different eras. Elvis had a lock in the 50s, then he went into service, and he came back. But it was really in the 50s when he was shaking things up on the Ed Sullivan Show and swiveling them hits. I don't believe that people should be compared if they come from other eras. You bring in Michael Jackson, the 70s with the Jackson 5, the 80s, when Thriller came out in 1980, one of my favorite albums off the wall. I don't think it's right to compare. If I had to think of who could be on that Mount Everest of greats, you got to put Beyonce up there. You do. People going to be like, I like Beyonce. No, this is what I hear. Patty, you're obsessed with Beyonce. No, she's really an incredible entertainer. You know, I mean, her performances alone, her, Prince, I love to see people that are just great entertainers. I think about Michael Jackson, right? Well, he got it from James Brown. And James Brown was up there with Jackie Wilson. When you look at your Ushers and your Chris Browns, they all reach back to a generation to show you entertaining and that dancing. And Sammy Davis Jr., they get it from the past and embellish on it. So I don't really think it's great. I think there's a lot that can go on that Mount Everest of like great performers, because y'all know everybody can't perform. But when you think of the greats, they got it. They got it from someone else. Some of my favorite moments were Michael Jackson and James Brown, and Michael draping James Brown with the cape, for they all got it from somewhere. So I don't need to do the sports debate. When they start getting into that, Michael Jordan, LeBron, I'm like, two different eras. Two different eras. You cannot mix the eras. And that's just my humble opinion. Thanks so much for joining us. Leave your comments. Leave your comments, any questions you want to ask me so I can answer them. Ask Auntie. Leave your comments, give us a thumbs up, and spread the word, because the channel is growing. I'm Patty Jackson. I'm the Auntie of Pop Culture. Thanks for joining me.